Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Kathy E. Smith, also known as Resource Reader. And tonight, I hate to be fiddling with this, I am here with Roz Murray. And Roz and I actually met here on LinkedIn. So if you're watching this from LinkedIn, we actually met on LinkedIn, and we have been good friends and business accountability partners. And Roz is one of my favorite people. And if you've ever watched their broadcast, I talk about her all the time. So we're going to get right into it. I'm going to let Roz introduce herself just a little bit later. But for now, Roz. So some of the posts that I had to advertise tonight talked about, are you a founder or are you a CEO? And so we're going to delve into that a little bit, but I also put act like a boss, think like a CEO. So Roz, what do you believe is the difference between a founder and a CEO?
Yes. Hi, Kathy. Hi, everyone. I'm really excited to talk to everyone tonight about this because it's something that I haven't seen talked about in the spaces that I'm in. And it's one of the reasons I wanted to bring this information to everyone because it's something that I talk about with the people that I work with on a daily basis. Now, the basic difference between a founder and a CEO, we all know what a CEO is, and that just stands for Chief Executive Officer. And it is the highest level that you can achieve in your business. Now, a founder is someone who is, to me, really special. It is that person that starts the business. They are the visionary. They are the person with the mission and the vision and the gump to go out and start a company. That is a founder. A CEO, in my mind, is someone that takes that to the next level, that begins to scale the business, that begins to bring on a team that supports the founder so that the founder is then able to relinquish some of those initial duties and take on more of a strategic role. So in real time, think about Jeff Bezos. We all know him. He is the founder of Amazon, and he has recently relinquished the role of CEO to the next person in line. He's still the CEO, he's still the visionary, and we all associate him with Amazon, but he's no longer the CEO. So in my mind, those are in general terms, what I consider the difference between the two. And it doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It's just a foundational difference. I think the founder can still be the CEO as well.
So, Roz, also, do you think that there's perception, like you could be a founder, but you really haven't gotten into the meat of what a business is? But you can say and put your stamp on it saying that you started it. And I know for me, until I went to an Women's Inc. event, I put CEO on my title. But I think it goes deeper than that. So for you to put the label of CEO on there, I think it involves, forecasting, hiring. I think it involves taking a deep dive into your business and how it operates. Whereas a founder could be somebody that just has a tax ID and holds their shingle up. I mean, not saying that you can't be the founder and the CEO, but I think it goes, deeper than that. So what have you found in working with your clients? How have you helped them evolve?
Yeah, it's a great question, Kathy. And there's nothing wrong with calling yourself a CEO. You are that executive role person. You are the person that is probably doing everything. I think that the major difference in what you're talking about in terms of going to an Inc. conference and seeing CEOs and comparing yourself and then saying, oh, I don't know if I really believe that I should have that title. I think that sometimes founders are really solopreneurs. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about people that go out there and they hustle and they knock down those doors and they start to generate revenue and create a company out of nothing, out of what they envision their company to be. And somewhere along the way, they find that you cannot do everything. You're not able to have everything or make decisions about everything without being able to bring someone alongside to begin to support you. So I think that what you're asking me is what are some of the mistakes, perhaps, that solopreneurs make? And I think that some of the biggest mistakes really come about when you start to become a little bit disillusioned. You find that you are stretched too thin. You find that you're not taking care of yourself. And like many of us, and myself included, we start out this business a little bit A-type and we are perfectionists. And we feel that there isn't anyone else that can do the things that we can do as well as we do them. And so it is difficult to begin to turn things over to someone else to do. So I think that in terms of the mistakes, some of the common mistakes that we all run into is because we have sort of blinder vision. We're doing everything. We are making all the decisions. We are the person that signs off on fonts. We are the person that signs off on the website updates. We take care of the bookkeeping. We write copy. We write a blog. We are in front and doing videos. We are doing everything. And there is a point where if you don't move forward in your company isn't growing as quickly as you envision, or you see others moving along faster than you, and you wonder, well, what am I doing wrong? You sometimes end up with mindset issues, and you can potentially think things like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Things are not moving the way that you expect them to, and it's probably because you don't have an outside perspective sometimes. And you realize that, oops, maybe I need to bring in some help.
So, Roz, would you care to share what are a few? I mean, you've talked about it a little, but what are some mistakes that you see that you've helped clients with in terms of being a CEO?
Some of the biggest mistakes, I think, come about because some of us start our companies and we transition from employee to business owner. And just before we met today, I was looking at some of the headlines, and I can see that there are headlines about the fact that there are record numbers of people now coming out of the COVID situation that we're in and have begun to decide or make decisions about not going back to work. And they've decided they want to start their own businesses. And they feel that it is an easy thing to do because technically it is not, it is so much more easier to do this than we used to be able to in terms of starting a company. There are apps. We can do websites quickly. Everything is happening so much faster that on the outside looking in, it feels like this is a really simple thing that we can go ahead and do. And you've got, again, the motivation, you've got the ideas, you've got the audience potentially, you've got the funds to be able to start a business. And you jump in and you're all in, and then you find that there are some things that you had blinders around and you are not able to see what you can't see. And you don't know what you don't know.
And so, Raj, you are a best kept secret. And I know some of your clients don't want you to, they want you to stay that way. So, would you share with the audience who you are and how you've helped business owners?
Yeah.
navigate?
Yeah. Thanks, Kathy. I came at this in a really roundabout way. And just as I'm sharing with you now about some of the mistakes that I've seen, I've made them all myself. I am a business growth strategist. I have been on my own, working in my own practice for just about 20 years now. I stand on behind the scenes and on the shoulders of entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners, professionals, coaches, consultants to help them with the strategy to help them grow their businesses in any way that that needs to be. You know that I have a financial background, that I did start out working on Wall Street for a Wall Street company. I transitioned from that and worked for a corporate retail company, several corporate retail companies for many years before leaving corporate and going out on my own. So my background to small business has come about because of of being able to read the financials, being able to do the accounting piece. I do run a bookkeeping service for anyone that needs to do bookkeeping, but my strength has to do with business growth and helping business owners see their companies from the top down, helping them with the strategy and planning to run profitable businesses and to help them learn to read their numbers so they can see the truth of what the numbers are telling them.
So I feel like Roz is being modest because she helped one of her clients reach a 5-figure month. And I always value her expertise and look forward to our business accountability calls. So, so why do you believe that business owners often have a hard time delegating?
Oh, wow. A few ways. I think that we are fundamentally hard workers. I think if you go into business for yourself, you know that you're going to go to the last mile to make this business work. Sometimes decision making and delegating, um, it gets caught up in your mind because you feel as though you are the only one that can do this thing, this job, and there isn't anyone else that can do it the way you can do it, so you have to do it. Those, and also there is a limiting belief that you may be perceived as lazy or you're not doing enough to make the company move faster or move to the next level because you're not taking part. And so you decide that you don't want to delegate because you want people to see that you are busy. You do busy work. Those are the two biggest reasons I think that people are reticent to delegate.
Now, do you think trust is a factor? Because, I personally, um, even though I have a virtual assistant, um, there are things that I could give her that I don't know, maybe just nothing to do with her because we've been working together going on 4 years, but just other people that I've worked with that, it's almost like an onion. I slowly,
Yeah,
like, oh, you can do that. But as I'm looking to grow, I'm really going to have to, let go of some of those things.
I agree. And that is so true, Kathy. And it's not you. You do have to, and of course, it all goes through the vetting process and the hiring process. I've been burned so many times with taking people on. They have, and I've vetted them as best as I can. I've done the little background checks, security checks that I can. I've done the follow up and spoken with people who've worked with them, and they did not produce the way that they said that they would or promised that they would. And there's also the security factor because, of course, now we're not always working with people in our own offices. We are working across the pond around the world, and we do have to be serious about security. There's no doubt about that. But there is the trust factor, and there is the factor of letting go, and that has to start and end with you. That's
Yes. And It's all a process. So I want to take a step back a little bit, and I want to talk about something that you touched on. And that is very true. A lot of people are retiring sooner than they wanted to. A lot of people are just like, if you make me come back into the office, I'm just going to resign. And so there's a lot of that. And so what words of advice would you give to someone who is about to embark on that journey?
Hmm, that's a really good question. It's a great question. Um, Several things. I would say, first of all, you really examine your motivation, examine your why. Think about what is most important. And I don't necessarily think that it's a bad idea or a bad decision to go into business for yourself during these times. Sometimes it takes some really interesting family situations to make you realize that perhaps you haven't, there are some things you didn't see that you see better now. For myself, there were several reasons why I felt in the beginning I needed to make the transition to business owner. There are several catalysts that came to mind. A couple of times I had issues with my children and with childcare, and being in a meeting, in a corporate meeting, and not being able to leave that meeting because I was needed there and couldn't find someone to take care or pick up my children, um, were some of the barriers that I had to deal with when I first decided that it was time for me to begin to transition. Um, there are many reasons. It may be retirement. It may be that there are moms who realize that there are different ways to be able to deliver services now. They might decide it's time to start their own company. There's a safety factor, there's a security factor, or there may be this little bean of an idea that has been burning in your tummy for years, and you think finally now is the time to unleash it. So look inside yourself, examine yourself, speak with your family, start to get some really good resources pulled together, do your reading, speak with people, find a support network that will help you, like minded individuals that will pull you alongside and help you get into the right mindset. Being a business owner is not faint of heart. Um, the other piece that I find that is pretty difficult and it's hard to discuss, but it centers around the financials of a business. Starting a business, bootstrapping is not easy. You need to start with a little bit of some runway to start your company. Um, you need to have a certain amount of resource in terms of funds set up so that you can run your business successfully. And many people are doing that alongside while they work as well. So there are many ways to do it.
And I think that's so key in what you said, Roz, because I think a lot of people tend to take the leap, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to, even if if your business is strictly online, you need some of the basic essentials like being able to afford the internet, being able to connect with your customers, and you may want to consider all of the tools or monthly reoccurring expenses that
Mm-hmm.
you need
Mm-hmm.
um, before you do that. And
Mm-hmm.
since we're now in this virtual world, and in many instances continuing to do so, if you hire somebody, as you stated before, maybe they're not even in the same country as you. And so
Mm-hmm.
what implications does that have for you? And how are you managing that? Now,
Right.
it's interesting. I know that there's a time difference with my virtual assistant. And but I do know that Periscope days, I used to watch a particular person, and they had like a staff of three, and but they would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to accommodate being able to talk to their staff. So that's something that you have to consider. I don't
Mhm.
do that. I make it convenient so that it's nighttime here and morning there, but that's also a consideration. Like, do you have the budget to support that?
Exactly. And I agree. It's not just the VA, it's the other support pieces to a company, right? You've got your VA, and it might be this person who you can work with. There are many production tools that are out there so that if you project out the work, that VA can become someone that works alongside you. You don't necessarily need to speak with them every day, but they know what needs to be done, and you can do the check-in once a week, let's say. Um, you may need a tech person. You may need someone that is your bookkeeper, accountant person. You will need to build out your bench, your attorney, if your business attorney, your accountant, the person who is your advisor in some way in terms of a growth strategist. All of those people that need to support you in order for you to do your best work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there is, I really wanted you to come on not only to talk about a founder versus a CEO, and also some of the things that you've seen as a business growth strategist, but Roz, you have a course coming out. And so I would like to
Yeah.
share about that course, and also share, what do you believe the transformation that people will gain
Mm.
by taking your course?
Thank you so much for sharing that, Kathy. Listen, um, some of the most rewarding conversations and meetings I've had, where I have seen the transformation over time from working with someone who um, piecemealed their business together and grew to be this person who is a person who is in charge of strategy, who loves to run their company from the top down, who will take time out every quarter to plan the business, that will execute that plan with the team, who is the visionary for their team, that excites the team and inspires them to come alongside with them to do the work to bring this vision to creation. Um, this course that I created is called Thinking Like a CEO, and I'm really excited to deliver it because it brings to mind big picture thinking. It will help you if you are frustrated or burned out and you've decided that you have just hit some walls and you just don't know what to do to move to the next level. Perhaps your business has plateaued. Um, what this course will do for you is take you through some specific strategic steps to help you help bring you out of where you are to, again, like I said, big picture thinking. That's my term, to help you with creating the goals, to create the strategy, to execute that vision so that you can move your company to the next level. Um, it will take the blinders off, and it will push you and it will challenge you to think outside of the box so that you are thinking like a CEO. I know that business owners have way too much on their plates, but I will bring you step by step, taking the not just taking the exercises and working through the worksheets, but working through the workbook and taking the quizzes at the end of each module to determine where you are and what needs to happen next to begin to move you further into that role so that you are thinking like a CEO.
Now, I'm just trying to continue to share this because I think people need to hear this, Roz. So, as somebody who's taken a sneak peek, you definitely want to get
Oh,
while it's in pre-launch mode. Um, it's high quality. It really will challenge you to think. So, I want to encourage you um, to really consider getting this course, especially if you are planning to uplevel your business, or maybe you're in business and you're looking to scale and you just want to really think about your next moves. I think you should take this course. And so, Roz, later I'll go back and post the link to this feed. I'll post the link to your course. And, I just really want to encourage people so that they can get benefit of what I get benefit of every week, So let me say that.
Thank you so much, Kathy. I wanted to make sure that I brought something that was comprehensive uh, to the people that I work with that will enable myself as well to be able to scale, because I'm not able to teach this on a personal basis as much as I used to. I brought this course out. It will go to standard pricing come August 1st. For the first 2 weeks of the launch until July 31st, I will make sure that anyone who has interest in the course can get the course at 40% off and take a look.
So this is introductory pricing,
Yes.
And pre-launch pricing. So you definitely, and you can also reach out to me or Roz if you want to learn more, and if you want to learn more about her other offers too. So she does have another course that's coming up. I mean, not right away, but she does have another course. So you definitely want to get on her mailing list. And so, and Roz, feel free to also give me the link to that. Well, we're not going to do that while you have the course launch, but if you're interested in getting on Roz's mailing list and hearing about future offers, master classes, just be sure to check it out and be sure to connect with her on LinkedIn. So, Roz, that was 30 minutes. It didn't seem like it. So is there anything else that you can think of that you really want people to get out of your course? Because the videos are phenomenal, and I could go on and on.
Oh, thanks, Kathy. I don't necessarily. I think that there are so many great coaches out there, consultants. And one of the things that really propelled me to create this course is that I felt that there may have been, I don't want to cause risks, of course, but I feel so strongly that if you are transitioning into a business or if you are already in business, there are many coaches, consultants out there who are working with these small business owners and are not advising them well. And I am so frustrated with what I have heard that these hardworking people have spent on these resources and have not gotten the results that were promised. This course comes with a money-back guarantee. The pages that they will be downloading will transition them to CEO thinking. It's a promise that I make in the course. If you have any questions, I'm always available and here to hear reactions. I worked really hard on this to get people to think clearly. You will need to take time away from your business, a weekend, a few hours, to go through the workbook, the worksheets, the cheat sheet, and the videos and the quizzes so that you can be honest with yourself about what it is that you need to do if you truly want to grow your business and move it and scale it to the level that you seek.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so you have a few 5-step frameworks inside the course
Hmm.
that will help people along.
Hmm.
And Roz and I talk about it all the time that this is not a no fluff course. Even if Roz won't say it, I will. She was saying it very gently. Um, because we both have seen where people have taken and it's a high level, it's presented at a high level, but it doesn't get to the meat and the potatoes. It's just like an appetizer and a
Hmm.
tease. And we both like strive to deliver to people things that are actionable, transformational, so that they will make a difference in your business. So
Absolutely.
so, Roz, if you would like to share how people can get in touch with you,
Mm,
um, please do so. And
thank
any
you, Kathy.
words?
I would love to connect with anyone that would like to on LinkedIn. We're on LinkedIn. Connect with me, reach out, send me a message. You can send me a message via my website, rospmurray.com. I'm everywhere. I can be found on Twitter. I can be found on LinkedIn. I can be found on Instagram and Facebook. But let's just connect on LinkedIn and start a conversation. I'd love to meet you.
So that's all for this evening. I hope you enjoyed it. And as with anything, technology, I wanted the little ticker to roll across so it can remind people to think like a CEO, but it is all good. So I hope that people will watch this if you weren't watching live. And also put in the comments when you do watch this, if you're not watching live, put hashtag replay because we want to share this with as many people as possible because Roz really is a best kept secret.
Ah,
So that's all for this evening. Thank you all for tuning in, and we hope that you will think like a CEO.
thank you so much, Kathy.